Hey there, YouTube. Here I am once again. Should I say once again? Well, it's not my first video, but definitely has been a while. So, what am I going to talk about this time? Well, musical taste. Yeah. Uh, this was not my idea, but it came up, and I thought, wait, why not? So, I'd say the first time I had as you could say, a well-defined music taste was back when I was like 13, I'd say, and I would say it's new metal, bands like Korn, bands like Slipknot, those kind of bands. Uh, Obviously, I was a young teenager, and as a relatively shy and well-behaved teenager, what could I do to be rebellious? Hear new metal, hear this kind of uh, more, I wouldn't say too out of the norm because they got pretty popular, got pretty mainstream, but you know, uh, but I guess alternative music. Uh, and I liked it. I liked the aesthetics. I liked the tempos. I didn't necessarily 100% understand all of the musical roots, but it was my, I guess, introduction into kind of art rock slash heavy metal with new metal music. Then as I went on, I had some influences that I guess kind of shamed new metal. New metal is like a movement in the 1990s that kind of mixed uh, hard rock and kind of grunge also with hip hop a bit. So they were very much, I guess you could say they were less technical with their guitar plays and overall their artistry in an objective sense, but it was on purpose. They wanted a more greedy, more, I guess, in tune with the society kind of music. They were very much of the high school slash early adult kind of vibe, kind of the bullied, uh, fighting back kind of vibe to them. So as I got influences that said that that new metal ain't the best kind of metal that you can listen, I started to expand and I started to listen to thrash metal, which was like the movement of the 1980s, started by bands like Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, Exodus. Uh, there was more of a technical style of heavy metal. The songs were longer, the riffs were more complex. There were guitar solos, even bass solos. Uh, the subject matter was a bit more abstract. Uh, it was definitely a different kind of music from new metal. Even just the album structures and the imagery. They were like the answer to glam metal, which was a very feminine type of look. Uh, Bands like Monthly Crew, and they were thrash metal was supposed to be like the darker, more masculine answer to it. Now, masculine, they still wear uh, tight leather pants, but there was a lot of like denim, a lot of like pins slash I don't know how to say it, but they had like little cutouts of various bands on their jackets. They're like denim jackets. Uh, they still had the long hair, but it wasn't so. You looked at them and you wouldn't say that they put like 10 hair products on their hair per day. So that was definitely a different kind of vibe, and it was great music. Like Metallica's 4 album run in the 80s is great, and Slayer is also fantastic. And it was heavier kind of music, which helped the progress, helped keeping me interested in the genre. It escalated, and with that I also found out death metal and a little bit of black metal. I like more death metal, like bands like Obituary, Morbid Angel, Cannibal Corpse, and even the founder. Damn, that's a big beat. Okay, anyway, doesn't want to feature in the video. Um, and even the founder Chuck Schuldiner with his band Death. And I like that sound. It's still technical, but it's faster. The vocals are much less clean. They have a very grovelly voice to them, very guttural voice, but the music still had musicality and technicality to it. One band I would like to pinpoint is Death itself, which is pretty much just Chuck Schuldiner and switching band members around. But he was definitely a marvel when it came to creativity, because he says that he regrets naming his original band Death, because it said that it how should I say, it limited him too much creatively wise, because he, as the time went on, he moved a bit from death metal to more kind of melodic, technical, heavy metal. The only thing that maybe kept him more in this genre was a bit more the speed and the vocals, but the guitar play was much more harmonious. While Cannibal Corpse was much more like speedy but heavier, and with very graphic subject matter, but not any kind of religious kind of undertones, uh, unlike Morbid Angel, which played kind of the quote unquote Satan imagery. So those were like my influences in music early on. Then I found out on just randomly on YouTube Wu-Tang Clan, which is a hip hop group from the 90s, and I think the first song I listened to is called "The Mystery of Chess Boxing." I think that's, yeah. And I was hooked. I was hooked. It was very original, and just the style that they had was very captivating. The various members, they all had different kind of personalities, different kind of rapping styles. So I started to hear a lot of Wu-Tang Clan, and then I went from Wu-Tang to Tupac, and this was when I was in university, so like 19, 20, 21. And Tupac, I think he is one of the greatest artists of all time, in my opinion. What he did from 21 to 25 years of age was like a complete roller coaster. Like being in movies, dating celebrities, like, for example, I gotta find a place with less bucks. Dating like Madonna, for example, making 5 studio albums, making an album that would eventually go diamond, which is selling 10 million copies. Although it's a double album, I always find it kind of cheating that if you make a double album, each sale counts twice. Each sale counts twice. It's like, if if you made a triple album, no, if you made like an album with 10 songs, but you put one song on each disc, does one sale count as 10? I don't know. But that's attention. But anyways, Tupac, he spoke from a very honest place. He had a wide range of emotions as a human being that he put out in his songs very naturally, and that to me is very captivating. Also, then as I was listening hip hop, and then it evolved recently into like R&B, and now I listen to more kind of like, I'd say, SZA and Frank Ocean. Currently, that's what I like to hear the most, especially SZA's new album, SOS. I like it. It's a very kind of melodic, but somewhat subdued kind of music. The beats aren't too outlandish, quote unquote, but they suit a mood, you know. That word's kind of overused, mood, but they definitely suit a mood. And the lyrics, they definitely just explore human feelings, which is kind of like the most relatable thing you can talk about. And Frank Ocean too, and they just have great voices laid over some very creative and moody melodic type of beats, and they master different tempos, different aesthetics, the happy, the sad, the melancholic, the desperate, the hopeful, you know. They got a lot of breath as far as their sound, so that's definitely what's occupying me right now. Also, like, I'd say I like orchestral music. I like some classic, but I also like a lot of like, and I know I say like a lot, but I do enjoy video game music from like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, those kind of orchestral soundtracks that they have, because they have a somewhat of a heroic, or in other characters' case, villainous motif to, it's like an anthem, a song, and they're also very good for loops, because they're supposed to loop while you play the game in that certain section. And they just have all of the technological tools currently, and they also have the goal of either fitting action, or suspense, or relief, or they have a certain emotion they need to cater to. So I feel like in a way it's hard to go wrong with a great video game soundtrack, orchestral type, especially one of those Japanese RPG ones, because but first the track list is huge. It's dozens and dozens of songs, and they are supposed to fit all these range of emotions that the characters go through in their games. So you get a very complete project. Especially I like Final Fantasy VII and Dragon Quest XI. I feel like they have just about everything that you want from a song that will pump you up, from the one that will ease you down to where you can fall asleep, and anything in between. So I like those. I also like Japanese music, like Japanese pop from like the 80s. Anri, Anri, is like, to me, the goat as far as their music style. She's just put out so much content in the 80s. She had like stretches of like 5 years where she would put like out like, I don't know, 8, maybe 10 albums. Like she put out a lot of content, and truth be told, I don't understand anything that she says. I don't speak Japanese, but her voice and the instrumentals, they are very like summery, like summer night kind of vibes. uh it's called, the genre is called city pop, so it's very like, uh it's kind of the vibe that you're supposed to have is like you're on a hot summer night at a rooftop overlooking a city and thinking about, uh, your social life, how you're gonna deal with it, how you're gonna make your move, and all the characters, quote unquote, that are around it, and all the feelings that it conjures up. Obviously, I know that through research, I don't really understand what they're saying in the songs themselves, unless they speak English. They have a thing of like in the chorus of adding like a English kind of sentence, and then they go to a Japanese sentence right away, and it's just supposed to blend in. But like the formula is kind of the same as the current R&B that I listen to, which is moody, very harmonic, not harmonic, but very soothing instrumentals with a very nice, calming voice that can, you know, escalate well and de-escalate well. I don't even know if de-escalate is a word, but anyways, those are like probably the main music genres that I like. So heavy metal, hip hop, R&B, orchestral, and Japanese city pop. So this video doesn't really even fit the title of I don't have the answers to these questions, and but it's just something I wanted to get out. Well, I guess I could kind of relate and say, what does what do these kinds of songs say about me as a person or my growth? And to that, I really don't know. But I do think that what I said about Tupac, not Tupac, Tupac definitely ties in a way, because we as people have a wide range of emotions, and I think shows some emotional intelligence, I guess you could say. To have a wide range of musical taste, and by wide range, I don't mean I like everything that shows up in the radio. No, I actually mean when you look for it to the song. So yeah, I think that's good for now. Hope y'all have a nice day.